Now, you saw some other things in heaven that were very amazing, like who greets us when we get there?
Well, that's remarkable because what you don't realize is that family greets you. And when I say family, I mean people you don't even know in your family. People that have given their lives to the Lord many, many years before you were even thought of. Some of those are there, other people. Like I got to see my sister that was stillborn, she was up in heaven and I got to see her and which was fantastic. And it's just all these little things. I was about 6 years old when she was born, and I got to meet her and talk with her a little bit, and got to see these things. But your family comes there. But here's the thing: when if you've ever had an abortion, I need to get back to this. If you've ever had an abortion, God forgives you. Ask Him for forgiveness. Just say, God, forgive me. Jesus, forgive me. Accept Jesus into your life. And as soon as you do, that sin is erased. It's no longer there. And when you get to heaven, guess what? You are going to be greeted by that baby that you aborted, and they're going to love on you for eternity. And you're going to love on them for eternity. Even though there's not family like we think of as far as marriage and stuff, you're still family in heaven. You're still together in heaven. Everybody's all together in heaven. It's beautiful. And your extended family, your relatives, they meet you there and they greet you, and it's beautiful and it's wonderful. And there's angels in the background of it. And it's just, it's such a time. Like if you lost a loved one, a husband or a wife, they're there. They're waiting for you. You lost a child, they're there waiting for you anytime. I know my mom has passed away now, and she passed away in 2016. And my sister passed away before her, my oldest sister, Carolyn. And my sister, Carolyn, I know is there in heaven to greet my mom, along with my dad and everybody else. So, and it's wonderful. All you picture in your mind is that child at 12, because you can't picture him any further than that, because you've been with them for 12 years. When you get to heaven, you'll see that child at 12 years of age. And that child will be there with you in heaven at age 12. Now, the other thing is that if you aborted a child 20 years ago, and in your mind, you picture that baby, or you picture the child at 2, or you picture the child at 20, whatever is on your mind, because your spirit is still part of this. Your spirit knows what your mind's thinking, and God knows. When you get to heaven, that's what you see, and that's what greets you. So you're not going to be surprised, in that respect. You're going to see that child as you expect to see that child. It's just a thing that God does. Oh, well, He glows. It's not like, okay, so in the flesh, He looks completely different than He does in the spirit. He just does. Does He have hair? Yes. Does He have, beard? Yes. Everybody in heaven, just for you, so you'll know, I never saw anybody in heaven that looked like they were older than about 30 to 33 years of age. Everybody looks the same age in heaven, as far as the oldest people. There's younger people in heaven, but nobody's older. Like my grandfather, he wasn't like my grandfather was when he died. He was like a young grandfather. I knew who he was. My grandmother, I knew who she was. They were young. They were vibrant. That's what the spirit does. But he glows. I mean, he has this glow about him that's just unreal. There's like a fire inside of him, but it's the calming fire. And I guess that's the best way I can say it. Goodness, I don't have time to list all the angels. There are so many angels in heaven, so many different kinds. And contrary to popular belief, most angels don't have wings. Only very few have wings. And they're usually ones that are coming for a particular assignment here on earth for something. And in angel wings were more of a man thing than a God thing, just to be blunt. Angels don't need wings. Okay, they don't need wings to fly. And so there are very few of them have wings. But angels come, and there's just so many types of angels. Look, we have a guardian angel. Now, our guardian angel looks almost like us. It's kind of hard to explain. If you remember in the Bible, who was it? Peter that was in jail. So what he does is Peter comes and, he goes and he knocks on the door because he got out of jail. And the maid goes over to the door and she looks out there and she slams the door and she goes, she heard the voice and she knew it was Peter. And she said, "Oh, it's Peter, it's Peter, it's Peter." And anyways, she runs back and tells him, and the rest of the disciples are sitting there and they're going, "No, it must have been his angel." Even they knew, about that. So your guardian angel is there to protect you, to help you, to get you thinking. You've heard people talk about, I was in a car wreck and the next thing you know, it's got hit head on, but the next thing you know, I'm standing outside the car and nothing's wrong with me. It's because your guardian angel took you out of the car before anything happened. And you don't remember it, but you're standing there. You've seen something start to fall. They've even shown videos on YouTube. Some people have had them out there. Something starts to fall on a child and all of a sudden it stops and the child moves. And it's not AI. There's some real things have happened like this and it's been caught on tape sometimes. And that's your guardian angel protecting you, but that's just part of what you have. And then you have helper angels. You have, my goodness. I guess the most powerful angels are your archangels. Now, an archangel is only going to appear, and now there might be controversy to this to some people. An archangel is coming to appear because something major is going to happen on earth. And that's when an archangel appears. That's their assignment. The earth is their assignment. And they're coming to tell you about things that are going to change or something that's going to happen. They are in direct contact with God. They're powerful. They are so powerful that nothing Satan has can withstand what they bring. When they bring news, Satan hates it because it's like God himself coming. Almost, not quite. They're not as powerful as God, but they're very powerful. And Lucifer was part of that at one time. And so he recognizes that power too. But there's so many different angels. There's angels that are there to help you with worship. In fact, here's something that I saw, and I have to bring this in because you're talking about angels, that when we have worship music here on earth, do you know angels flock to that are here on the earth? They come. So when you're having church or you're sitting at home, that's why I play worship music at home all the time. I love it. And I tell people, because I counsel with a lot of people, if you're having problems at home, start putting on worship music. You know what? The demons will start to leave. They hate it. But the angels will come because they love it. The angels love worship music because they worship. But there's so many different angels. I couldn't go into all of them. We'd spend an hour doing that.
Now, did you see the throne? Did you see the Holy of Holies? What else did you see?
I did. But let me explain to you. I could not see God's face. I saw the throne. It was so bright that even in my spirit, it was hard for me to look at. There was an emerald rainbow. There was things about him. There were things that happened. There are 24 thrones around there, 24 seats around there. There is one seat next to him where Jesus normally sits. And at his right hand. There are so many things that happen. I got to see things where certain people in life, certain martyrs in life, were behind the throne, right behind God on the throne. Some of the disciples or apostles that were martyred were there. Yeah, I saw the throne room, and it's like you can't believe the power that's emitted out of that. I don't think an atomic bomb, the biggest one we could ever make, could ever match the power that you feel. But the power you feel in heaven is not bad. It's just, man. That's what your spirit inside of you is made for. That's what it wants. That's why when you hear worship music, you go, oh, you can't help it. You want to praise him. That's what your spirit is for. And that's why the difference between music, just to throw this out there, when you hear worship music, you're like this. When you hear worldly music, it's all about yourself. You're like, yeah, And there's a big difference because your spirit was made to worship him. When you see that, oh. Now, it was way in there because heaven is so big. It's gigantic. It's much bigger than hell.